If you guys are regulars here on the channel, you know as well as I do that I'm not usually one to run away with an overreaction. But you guys, after what we just witnessed on Saturday night between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Brooklyn Nets in front of the entire world on national television, also I should mention without LeBron James or Anthony Davis playing in this game, and the Los Angeles Lakers winning this convincingly by 25 points in the process. I don't know about you guys, but immediately after this game went down, I felt the need to make a video on this. So this is exactly what we're going to be doing, as we are going to be getting into some of the reasons about why the Brooklyn Nets might not come away with this 2021 NBA championship. Again, with making this video, I'm not meaning to or trying to overreact in any way whatsoever. I really just want to talk about this game with you guys and see what you thought as well. So you guys, before we get into this video, you all know the drill. If you've been here before, I'm going to stop this video and give you guys 5 seconds to go down below and subscribe. If you guys are brand new around here and you love the NBA as much as I do, believe me, you guys, you have come to the right place. As we are coming out with brand new NBA content around here on a daily basis, you guys, covering pretty much any NBA topic you can possibly think of. So once again, I am highly encouraging you to hit that button down below if you haven't already. Thank you to each and every one of you guys that do this for me. I cannot say this enough, but without further ado, let's get into this video. Now again, you guys, before we get any further into this video, I know this is just a regular season game. This is not going to mean anything in the end whatsoever, but this Saturday night primetime game in front of the entire world watching, but the end result of this game has definitely given the NBA world something to talk about for the next couple of days, if not weeks. As if you are stumbling upon this video and you have no idea what I'm referring to, the Los Angeles Lakers just beat the Brooklyn Nets 126-101, once again with Anthony Davis and LeBron James both not playing for the Lakers in this one. Granted, we should also mention that James Harden was not playing in this one for the Brooklyn Nets, but still this game has definitely opened the eyes of NBA fans across the entire league. As when I was watching this game myself, it definitely left me in a state of shock. As being a neutral NBA fan watching this game, the end result of this game was the complete opposite of what I was expecting. And I feel like I can confidently say the same thing for the entire NBA fan base as well. And with this, it's really got me thinking about some of the possibilities that might come up for the Brooklyn Nets that may cause them to not come away with the 2021 NBA championship, which inevitably would lead them to making history for literally all of the wrong reasons, as most of the NBA world is already referring to this Brooklyn Nets team as the most stacked team in NBA history. So let's dive into some of the biggest gaping holes within this Brooklyn Nets team that may cause them to not come away with the title this year. And the first of the flaws that I want to go over for this Brooklyn Nets team, and which might possibly be the biggest one standing in their way, is without a doubt their defense. As if you were not aware, the Brooklyn Nets currently sit at holding the 25th best defensive rating in the entire NBA, which I would also like to mention sits behind the Houston Rockets, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Detroit Pistons, and even the Orlando Magic. I know it seems very obvious that the thought process of the Brooklyn Nets front office is to stack this team with as much offensive power as they possibly could have, as it seems with us getting even closer and closer to the 2021 NBA playoffs that the Brooklyn Nets have the full intentions of getting carried by their offensive powerhouse of a lineup. Which also, don't get me wrong, with me bringing up this flaw, I truly do believe myself that when this Brooklyn Nets lineup is fully healthy, they are relatively going to have no problems in terms of turning it up defensively compared to what they have been doing so far through the regular season. But still, this is definitely something to keep an eye on for the Brooklyn Nets, and it may be something that might come back to haunt them in the long run. But this is obviously a question that can only be answered in due time. And after mentioning the possibility of having this Brooklyn Nets lineup fully healthy in the playoffs, this brings us into my next point that I wanted to cover in today's video, which is if the Brooklyn Nets will even be able to stay healthy for the entire postseason. Again, I know this can also be looked at as kind of a stretch in terms of looking at why they wouldn't win the 2021 NBA championship, but it's still something we definitely need to consider, as I currently don't have any statistical evidence to back this up whatsoever. But if I had to guess off the top of my head of how many games Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden have played together, I would say 10 total games at the most. Again, if there are any Brooklyn Nets fans watching this video, or even any people that are educated on this actual stat, please let me know in the comments down below, but this is just a complete guess on my part. As shortly after the Brooklyn Nets traded for James Harden, I'm sure most of us were aware of the hamstring injury that sidelined Kevin Durant for almost 2 months, which on top of this, go figure, as Kevin Durant was finally returning from this injury and he has played the last 2 games for the Brooklyn Nets, James Harden goes down with an injury sidelining him for 7 to 10 days. And it really is a shame to see this as an NBA fan, at least from my perspective, because even though I personally was not a fan when these big three teamed up, as it is probably the most stacked big three the NBA will ever see, I still love to watch good basketball whenever I can, and when these three are all out on the court together on the same team, it is truly mesmerizing to watch these guys play together. But once again, the fact that their top three players have only played a handful of games together, if not maybe a little bit more so far through this season, and along with this just being a little over outside of a month away from the 2021 playoffs actually getting underway, there is definitely a valid reasoning to bring up about why this might be a cause for concern. Again, this is probably just an overreaction, as the Brooklyn Nets probably know what they're doing in terms of getting their players as healthy as they possibly can, especially come the time of the postseason. But these points that I'm listing off kind of just seem to be feeding into each other, as this has led to the third point I wanted to discuss in today's video, which is, and I know I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but it is the Brooklyn Nets chemistry. As again, I know I just mentioned in my previous point that when Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden are all out on the basketball court together, it is truly a beautiful thing to watch as an NBA fan. I feel like I can confidently say that for everybody watching this video, but still, it is another cause for concern to think about how little these three have actually played together this season. Not even just their top three, more so the fact of this entire Brooklyn Nets roster in general. And again, I do know that James Harden was not playing in the game Saturday night against the Los Angeles Lakers, but let's just take this game for an example. It can be said for pretty much every NBA team that some nights things just aren't clicking in terms of a team perspective. Shots sometimes aren't falling, the ball isn't moving well, it happens to the best of the best. But the question sits present with, again, this Brooklyn Nets team being very unfamiliar with each other, at least compared to other teams they may have to go against. Along with this, having some bigger name personalities not taking the shots or making the plays that they are used to doing at the big stage. Is this going to be something that may come back to haunt the Brooklyn Nets when the postseason rolls around? Again, you guys, I'm not trying to overreact. I'm just trying to be realistic and think of some possibilities of how this team might not come away with it all. Because I think it's pretty safe to say, with some of the acquisitions the Brooklyn Nets made over the course of the last couple of weeks and months, that people are already writing them off as the 2021 NBA champions and not giving any other teams in the league a fair shot of taking this team down. But I think some of us need to sit back, take a deep breath, relax, and understand that this is the NBA. We have seen some crazy things before in this league, and they definitely aren't going to be the last crazy things we see. I can guarantee you this. So yeah, with covering what I wanted to cover in today's video, now it is time for you guys to leave me your feedback in the comments about what you think of this situation. Was this result of the Nets-Lakers game on Saturday night a sign that the Brooklyn Nets may make history for all of the wrong reasons this season? Or was the result of this regular season game something that needs to be brushed to the side and never talked about again? But let me know what you think of the situation in the comments down below. But you guys, after getting through that, I'm thinking that's going to mark the end of the video for today. As always, I'm really hoping you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, once again, don't forget to leave a like on the video down below and subscribe. Can't say it enough, you guys. Brand new NBA videos on a daily basis around here. You don't want to miss out on what we got on the channel coming forward. I appreciate all of you guys that are sticking around and showing your support on the channel. It really does mean the world to me. So thank you to each and every one of you once again. But on that note, I will see you guys in the next video.